Let's cook Japanese olive wagyu. This is a Japanese A5 olive wagyu ribeye. This piece here will set you back $200. Meat, Osmo, salt only. Now we sear and make sure we really press it down. Take a look at that crust. Now we slice again, and appreciate the perfect medium rare. That's juicy. Time for a bite. Wagyu is life-changing. Comment below if you like olives or not. Let's make a juicy gold brisket. We'll start with a big old brisket.
Then we trim.
Then we hit it with some salt.
And black pepper.
And into the smoker she goes.
Then wrap it in foil.
Then back in the oven it goes. I can already tell this thing's gonna squirt.
She is real juicy.
I'm gonna let TikTok do its thing.
Let's get a nice slice.
Time for a bite.
I think we just made the world's juiciest brisket.
Salt Bae could never do this. Let's cook a 15-pound lobster. This is a 15-pound lobster. This bad boy costs $600. He doesn't fit in my pot. Sorry, Mr. Lobster. Our claw is done. Boop. Look how thick that shell was. Caviar and black truffle. We'll shave our truffle, then finish with caviar. Oh boy. Probably the most expensive bite I've ever taken. Link in bio for our limited caviar drop. You don't see this every day. Let's make Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington blindfolded. Garlic, shallots, and mushrooms. Don't forget a little bit of salt. And once you've made a fine paste, set this aside. Now cover your beef in salt and pepper, and I just want you to listen to that sizzle. Paint the whole thing in mustard. Now layer down your crepes, prosciutto, duxelle. Now place down your meat, and then we roll it up. Rest this in the fridge for 20 minutes. Now I'll roll out my puff pastry, drop on my beef, then we roll it up. Now paint it with egg wash, and hit it with some flaky salt. Bake this at 400 Fahrenheit till beautiful golden brown. I think we have the perfect Wellington. And now for the moment of truth. There you have the perfect beef Wellington. I might just cook blindfolded from now on. I'm feeling a challenge today, so let's make fresh caviar.
First, we have to suit up. Look how cute she is.
Boop. Remove the ovaries from the fish.
This is raw caviar.
Separate the caviar from the ovaries.
Now we wash the caviar.
Until it's nice and clean.
Now we dry it off.
Measure it out.
Add a little salt.
Then we dry again.
Then it's packed into a tin like this to mature.
Pack the tin.
And now we taste.
That's the Rolls Royce of the sea.
I got a few sturgeons, so let's make risotto in a Parmesan wheel. This wheel weighs 80 pounds and retails for $3,000.
To start, we're gonna score around the edge with a knife. Then we wedge it into the wheel.
Wedge off that lid.
Now we cook Larry the lobster.
Sorry, Larry. Now we make a lobster stock.
Begin making the risotto.
Add your rice.
Splash of white wine.
To finish, a few cubes of butter.
Some fresh Parmesan cheese.
Another splash of olive oil.
And a bit of black pepper.
Now we dig a hole out of the middle.
And now we add some white wine. Whoa! Now we add our risotto.
And last but not least, our lobster meat.
Taste it. That has got to be the best risotto I've ever had in my life.
I got a whole wheel of Parmesan today, so let's make biscotti.
Biscotti, bitch!
Half cup.
What the fuck? Get apron!
Half cup vegetable oil.
Yeah, that looks good. 3 eggs.
Almond extract.
Vanilla extract.
Whisk it up.
You should call her. Get a separate bowl, bitch.
3 1/4 cups flour.
1 cup of white sugar.
Pinch of brown sugar.
And a little bit of baking powder. Don't forget your almonds.
Mix it all together.
Press it out on the baking sheet.
Now bake at 375 for 25 minutes.
Cut the biscotti.
Now back in the oven at 10 minutes per side.
Let's dip the biscotti.
Now that looks good.
Cheers, bitch. It's not biscotti.
Let's cook Wagyu on a hot stove. This here is a Himalayan pink salt slab. And this right here is a Wagyu filet mignon. Some of the best beef money can buy. First season it with flaky salt, and then we sear. I mean, seriously, does steak get any better than this? We'll finish with more flaky salt. Slice. Voila. Is it overcooked, undercooked, or perfect? Some black truffle salt. And, oh my God. Now normally I'd use a cast iron pan, but today, let's eat live sea urchin. This right here is a stunningly beautiful sea urchin. If you look closely, right here you can see its beak. And it just so happens they're my favorite food. I'll scoop out the gonads, and there you have it. My brand new salt company launches today. It's already selling out fast, so link in my bio to get some now. It tastes like a delicate ocean cream. One of the first 1,000 people that buys Osmo salt will randomly get my chef's knife. This exact one that I've used in all these videos. This isn't something you'll hear people say often. Let's make pasta in an entire wheel of Parmesan cheese. This right here is Parmigiano Reggiano straight from Italy. This whole wheel weighs over 80 pounds and it's been aged for 24 months. It smells incredible. I'm gonna open it up and make some pasta. We're gonna start with this little knife and make a nice guideline around the cheese. Then we're gonna take this funny looking thing, wedge the tip into the line and pull. Now we'll wedge in this funny looking knife, which will start to cut open the rind. Now with yet another tool, we wedge it in really hard, then wiggle back and forth. And once it's ready, we wedge it open. First we'll carve a bowl into our parm wheel. For our pasta, separate out 12 egg yolks. And once our pasta dough is in a perfect ball, we'll rest it in the fridge for half an hour. Flour it up, and then put it through your pasta maker. Now roll out the fettuccine. We'll toss in our pasta. We'll pour in that pasta, cream sauce. Finish it off with some fresh grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Full videos on my YouTube now. That is crazy. Let's eat some caviar. Actually, we can do better than that. Why don't we talk about caviar? First, we'll open it up. Look at all those amazing pearls. This big tin has almost double all of these little ones combined. My favorite way to eat it, grab a chip, a little creme fraiche, and a dollop of caviar. This is Royal Acetra caviar. Caviar all comes from one fish, the sturgeon. This is from an Acetra sturgeon, and they typically weigh between 50 and 400 pounds. When we scoop it, we don't want to use stainless steel because that can break the pearls. When you eat it, you also don't want to bite down and chew. Instead, you want to press your tongue against the roof of your mouth and pop all those pearls. Let's taste it. With this caviar, the flavor is salty, fatty, and briny, even a little bit buttery. And it leaves this long-lasting sea breeze flavor on your tongue. It's pretty tasty, which is why each of these little tins can cost up to $700. Link in bio for my new YouTube video where I give out 50 of these tins to random people on the street. Let's make smoked lobster tails. Let's open my mystery box. Oh. I happen to think lobsters are beautiful. This is quick and painless. Blanch the lobster, then out we go. Perfect tail. Lobster, parsley, stick of butter, garlic, lemon zest, a little bit of saffron. Now it's sealed. Sous vide 30 minutes. Man, that looks good. Lobster tail, lobster meat, saffron butter. Quick little torch with my flamethrower. Hickory chips. Place on your lid. Click the link in my bio for 20% off your first monthly box. Or go to bespokepost.com and use code NICK20. Every box has at least $70 in retail value, but costs only $45. This is pretty cool, right? Let's make sushi from a whole tuna. We're gonna start by cutting along the spine.
Then we'll hack off the collar
Now we'll take off that tuna loin.
and cut it off the skin.
Now we'll cut out some tuna steaks.
Then cut some slices.
Now we'll start with our sushi rice.
Then we place the tuna,
Now some foie gras.
crispy onions.
Now some mayo.
Then we torch it.
Then roll it up.
Slice it up.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Nick, that was one of the best sushis I ever had, man.
Let's make a ribbon fish. This thing's almost as tall as me. This right here is called a ribbon fish. It's got these crazy prehistoric-like teeth, almost like fangs. But that doesn't mean I can't give it a little kiss. Time to cook it up. To start, we'll slice off its head. Then I'll trim off the top fin, because we can't eat that part. And then cut it into steaks. Now I'll lightly score the edges, hit it with a little salt, and it's ready to cook. Over high heat, I'll start with a little bit of vegetable oil, then place down our fish. Once our fish is crispy, give it a nice little flip. Now in that same oil, we'll toss in garlic, ginger, thin sliced scallion. Place the fish back in the pan. Then add some rice vinegar, soy sauce, a little bit of chicken stock, sprinkle of sugar, some salt, and a couple peppercorns. It looks like we've achieved maximum crispiness. To finish, we'll place down our fish, paint on some of our sauce, then a few sesame seeds, and some green onion. Finish it off with a drizzle of honey. Tastes better than it looks, that's for sure. Let's make brown butter gnocchi.
Gnocchi, bitch.
Peel 4 potatoes,
Cut your potatoes.
and once they're in nice cubes,
Get your water boiling, put some salt in there.
and drop in those potatoes.
Bitch. Cover it to steam.
Rice those potatoes, crack in 1 egg,
1 cup of flour. Once it's in a ball,
roll it nice and thin.
cut it up. Why couldn't the chef get into the kitchen? Because he had no key.
Once it's floating, strain it. It should look like nice little pillows.
Drop the sage into the brown butter.
Then add your gnocchi.
Some Parmesan on top. Buon appetito.
Let's make a cheese stuffed Wagyu burger. Start with Japanese olive Wagyu, the most expensive beef in the world. Now I'll chop it up, then grind it up, then I'll shape it into a ball, make a nice hole, add some caramelized onions, and cheese. Then we'll cook our patties, then we'll flip it over. Look at that bubbly goodness. Now I'll slice my burger bun, place on that patty, a little lettuce, tomato, and special sauce. Slice it open. And there you have it, folks. This might just be the sexiest burger I have ever seen. Probably the tastiest burger I have ever made. Let's make milk chocolate. First, let's fly to Ecuador to get a few cacao pods. So we've touched down in Ecuador, and right here you have a cacao tree. I can rip this off, and right here we have the cacao fruit. And I flew the pods with me all the way from Ecuador. Crack the pods open and admire their unique beauty. Now we squeeze them off to let them ferment. They look like a bunch of alien life forms. Now we roast them. Now I'll crush the shells. They look like a dinosaur egg on the inside. This will grind for about 24 hours. Now we'll add in a bit of sugar. Finally, our chocolate is done. Pour that chocolate. Now we'll peel back the chocolate mold, and we have a perfect bar of milk chocolate. That is silky smooth. Now, hopefully more people will know where chocolate comes from, but together, let's make pão de queijo, or Brazilian cheese bread. Into a stand mixer, add 4 cups tapioca flour. Then into a pot, add 1 1/4 cups milk, 1/2 cup water, pinch of salt, and 6 tablespoons of oil. And once the mixture boils, add it to your mixer. It's gonna get really tough and sticky like this. But now we'll add 2 eggs until fully incorporated. Now we'll add 1 1/2 cups grated Parmesan cheese, still left over from my Parmesan wheel, and a cup of shredded mozzarella. Grease that baking tray, drop in your batter, then bake at 400 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. They look stunningly good. I mean, just take a second to enjoy how beautiful these are. Let's do a few cheese pulls. Just look how hot and sticky they are. They're like little muffins, but better. Cheesy and delicious. Let's make pão de queijo, or Brazilian cheese bread. Into a stand mixer, add 4 cups tapioca flour. Then into a pot, add 1 1/4 cups milk, 1/2 cup water, pinch of salt, and 6 tablespoons of oil. And once the mixture boils, add it to your mixer. It's gonna get really tough and sticky like this. But now we'll add 2 eggs until fully incorporated. Now we'll add 1 1/2 cups grated Parmesan cheese, still left over from my Parmesan wheel, and a cup of shredded mozzarella. Grease that baking tray, drop in your batter, then bake at 400 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. They look stunningly good. I mean, just take a second to enjoy how beautiful these are. Let's do a few cheese pulls. Just look how hot and sticky they are. They're like little muffins, but better. Cheesy and delicious. Let's make Nutella churros. This is my most prized possession. Start with 6 tablespoons butter, 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, and a touch of homemade vanilla extract. Once heated, add 1 cup all-purpose flour, and once a smooth dough has formed, I must give it a little spank. Now add in 3 eggs, fill up a pastry bag, and deep fry at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't forget cinnamon sugar. Now I'll take my Nutella syringe, stuff the churros with Nutella, and you can even dip in Nutella too. I'm in the mood for sweets, so let's make ratatouille. Woo! Let's get to work, Pesto. He's nibbling my hair. Slice all your vegetables into thin strips like this. Pesto, let go. Now we layer our vegetables in a nice pattern. Don't forget sauce. To finish, we'll drizzle in olive oil, add just a pinch of salt, then into the oven it goes. We'll add our sauce, then our ratatouille, and a chive to top it off. It's a ratatouille fit for a king. Go ahead, Pesto. Oh, he loves it. He's the best helper ever.